Most homicides are dark. This one was bizarre.
What do you do when somebody invades every space of your life?
What if the person you met online wasn't who they seemed? What if a casual fling turned into a web of deceit and manipulation that spiraled into a living nightmare? Welcome to today's true crime tale, where we share a bone-chilling story about the dark side of love and the tragic consequences they can unleash. This story starts like many modern romances, with online dating. Auto mechanic Dave Krupa was seeking a fresh start after a long-term relationship ended. However, his quest for love would unexpectedly plunge him into a years-long nightmare, ending in tragedy. Join us as we uncover the twisted saga of a love triangle gone horribly wrong, a seemingly innocent love affair that turned into a tale of obsession, stalking, and slaying. Brace yourself for a roller coaster of emotions. Dave Krupa is a hard-working man living in Nebraska, auto mechanic by day, full-time father to 2 kids by night. However, his relationship with his wife has gone south, and it ultimately resulted in a divorce. After a reasonable amount of time, Dave decided he was once again ready for an intimate relationship. So he tried his luck with online dating, which was becoming a common way to meet people in 2012. Golyar, a single mother, was happy with that arrangement and they split amicably. Shortly after meeting Liz, Dave met another woman named Carrie Farver, who would forever alter his life. Carrie was a single mother and talented computer programmer. She was beloved by people around her, citing how she's independent, intelligent, and genuinely kind. Carrie thrived as a successful professional and cherished her close relationship with her family, especially her mother, Nancy. She lived in Iowa and had a son from a previous relationship. Despite the distance, her connection with Dave was immediate and unmistakable. However, she did manage a bipolar disorder Dave didn't know about, and it added a complexity to her otherwise steady life. As Dave Krupa's relationship with Carrie deepened, their connection blossomed into a whirlwind romance. They found ways to bridge the gap, spending long weekends together, alternating between their homes. The nights were filled with laughter, shared meals, and intimate conversations. Their love affair was passionate and intense, with both feeling a deep connection they hadn't experienced before. Then one day, everything changed. That fateful November morning, Dave kissed Carrie goodbye because she had stayed in his place the night prior. Both of them got ready and left for work. The day was seemingly ordinary when Dave suddenly got a text from Carrie. Out of nowhere, Carrie was needy, possessive, and aggressive, demanding that they start living together. Dave was taken aback because they had already discussed this before, and they both agreed they wanted to stay casual and see where things would go. But Carrie was not having it. Although the exchange was entirely through SMS, Dave could feel her rage. She was cursing, using hurtful words, and finally said she was done and leaving. Dave tried to argue and be logical, but Carrie would not budge one bit. As fate would have it, that morning was the last time he would ever see Carrie Farver. Carrie's sudden disappearance in November 2012 was just the beginning of a terrifying ordeal. Shortly after she vanished, Dave and those close to him started receiving alarming messages from her phone. The texts were unsettling, filled with obsessive and erratic declarations. The messages painted Carrie as unstable and dangerous, leaving Dave feeling trapped and frightened. Some texts even outlined exactly what he was doing or what he was wearing at the moment. The barrage of messages haunted him day and night.
All about how bad of a person I am.
Carrie's rage seems to be focused on his on-again, off-again ex-girlfriend, Liz, who he had dated before Carrie, which is confusing to Dave. Carrie seemed to be so unaffected by her first interaction with Liz. She wrote to Liz, "If you don't keep your hands and lips off my man, I will hurt you."
I would regularly receive 60 plus texts a day, 100 emails a day. It was not uncommon.
Making it impossible to escape the growing sense of dread. Then, Liz Golyar, Dave's first online date prior to meeting Carrie, reached out to him in 2013, saying she was also being harassed by the missing woman. Bonding over the trauma and confusion, the two somehow rekindled their romance. Liz became a sympathetic ear and a comforting presence during this turbulent time. However, the harassment continued, growing more sinister with each passing day. Dave's car was vandalized, his home was broken into, and personal belongings were stolen and ruined. Then the most bizarre thing happened.
From what I've seen so far, looking inside, it's pretty obvious this is an intentionally set fire.
The guy that I've seen, he has a girlfriend that he dated for 2 weeks, and she's been stalking me since November.
Liz's house was intentionally set on fire. Liz barely escaped, and Carrie was swiftly accused of the crime. This act of arson was the most disturbing event so far, fueling the belief that Carrie had become dangerously unstable. Luckily, Liz's kids weren't home when it happened, and only the beloved house pets were the recorded casualties. Krupa soon received a text from Farver's number that read, "I am not lying, I set that nasty whore's house on fire. I hope the whore and her kids die in it." Detectives, perplexed than ever before, now took the matter more seriously. In the spring of 2015, detectives of the Pottawatomie County Sheriff's started a full-blown investigation into Farver's whereabouts. They suspected she was dead, but they weren't sure when or how she died. Investigators had searched Carrie Farver's abandoned car shortly after her disappearance, but when they checked it again more thoroughly in 2015, they found bloodstains beneath the fabric of the passenger seat. They scrutinized the contents of Dave's and Liz's phones, and digital forensics discovered something odd. The investigation took a dramatic turn when digital evidence pointed to someone else, someone who has been there all along, Liz Golyar. She had been impersonating Carrie the entire time. Golyar's device showed photos of Farver's car, 20 to 30 fake email accounts, and an app that allowed her to schedule text messages to be sent at a future time. Investigators meticulously untangled the complex digital trail, exposing Liz's elaborate deception. In a desperate bid to cover her tracks, Liz had gone to extraordinary lengths. She staged her own harassment, setting her own house on fire and blaming it on Carrie. She meticulously planted evidence and crafted an elaborate narrative to portray herself as a victim. The most chilling revelation came when investigators discovered that Liz had not only impersonated Carrie digitally, but had likely ended her life soon after her disappearance. In the end, Liz's obsession with Dave had pushed her to the most extreme act, killing Carrie and then dedicating years to impersonating her, manipulating those around her to conceal her horrific deed. The relentless harassment Dave endured was a calculated part of Liz's twisted scheme to divert suspicion from herself and sabotage any potential relationships he might form. The evidence against Liz was overwhelming. Investigators uncovered her digital footprints, linking her to the fake messages and the staged harassment. She was arrested and charged with first-degree offense, bringing a sense of relief to Dave and Carrie's family, who had been tormented for years by the uncertainty and fear. The trial itself was a spectacle, drawing significant media attention because of the crime's twisted nature. Liz's defense attempted to argue that the evidence was circumstantial, but the digital and physical evidence left little room for doubt. She was convicted of all crimes, resulting in a life sentence behind bars. For Dave Krupa, the nightmare had finally ended, yet the emotional wounds would take time to heal. Investigators Chris LeGros, Jim Doty, and Special Deputy Tony Cava were instrumental in dismantling Liz's intricate deception. Their meticulous work in analyzing digital evidence was key to exposing Liz's elaborate scheme. In the years following the trial, Dave Krupa worked diligently to rebuild his life. Moving away from the memories of his ordeal, he sought peace and a fresh start. The experience left him more cautious and introspective, but with time and support, he found a new normal.
Thank you for watching. Drop your thoughts on this chilling story in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more daily true crime stories.